workforce has been the number one issue. And so thinking about workforce in different ways is something we've been able to do here at Colorado Business Roundtable. When we bring together partners from academia, business, community, and government, we talk about reimagining Colorado's workforce. And this includes traditional talent producers like institutions of higher education. It also includes skills-based jobs. And then there's other disruptors in this space that are seeking to grow talent and make sure Coloradans have a pathway to success.
The workforce issue matters to me because it's the key to everything we do. It doesn't matter how intensively technological your business is, it's still all about people. People invent the technology, people design it, they build it, they deliver it to your customers. You can never put all of that in a drawing or in a patent. It's still about that workforce. And we need people who are skilled, who are trained, who are committed. And so the ability to have more people like that and to partner with Colorado businesses and government to increase training availability and inspire people to want to live here in Colorado, which is an amazing place to be, especially in the space industry. A lot of people don't realize how much space industry is here in Colorado, is vital to the future, I think, not just of, to our businesses, but to our state as well. Also, we have to attract people here and make them want to stay in Colorado, even if they're from here already. So we need an affordable cost of living. We need public safety. We already have the tremendous beauty of our region, but we need to make it possible for people to feel that they can live here, have careers, and raise a family as well.
There's been a lot of challenges finding the people that we need to do the work that we have. Don't necessarily always have the right people and right skill sets in Colorado, and that's a challenge I think lots of folks are grappling with, and our higher ed institutions are grappling with what kind of skills do they need to be providing so that when kids hit the employment market, they are employable right off the bat. And so that's probably been the biggest challenge for us, frankly.
What we found is that we are not graduating enough K-12 students at the proficiency level needed to contribute to our workforce. More and more students, enough to fill Ball Arena, are not making it. And what does that tell us? It tells us that we do need reforms in our K-12 education system, but beyond that, we aren't meeting the demands of our workforce needs. We're having to import more and more talent into Colorado, something that's really unique to Colorado, and the workforce right now doesn't meet the needs and the demands. Question to leaders and to businesses is, how can we set the table to start educating and training workers in a different fashion? And there's been a lot of innovative steps towards this.
Reimagining the workforce is important to our industry because there is such a lack of skilled tradespeople. And my goal is to make the pool of talent bigger. So even if we're training people and they end up working somewhere else, we also see a lot of those people end up coming back to our business eventually. So making the pool of talent bigger in Colorado is incredibly important to us. A couple of years ago, they did pass some legislation that guidance counselors now have to talk about 3 different pathways post-college. They have to talk about military, they have to talk about skilled trades, and they have to talk about traditional college. We are working pretty hard on a subcommittee right now trying to build an associates in construction and associates in manufacturing that is more applicable to our industries. And for contractors like ourselves and manufacturers like ourselves, we would actually pay more for people that have pursued and were able to complete those degree programs. And then being to have that portability that with the crosswalk that we've created with MSU Denver, they can take those 60 credit hours after they finish those 5 additional classes, and they can be halfway done with their bachelor's degree in construction project management. That was the first one that we created. So since creating that program, they're telling us that is the fastest growing program that they have at MSU Denver.
It's so important to have diversity in the workforce, 100%. We all come from different places. So being able to have someone that doesn't look like you, someone who doesn't think like you, in your teams and in your organizations, it makes such a difference. Because if we all look the same and if we all think the same, there's no change. We all get stagnant. So having that diversity, having those other points of views is so important and so instrumental to to organizations.
We have a program called PTech, which is Pathways Through Technology, in partnership. It started with IBM back east, and it's now expanding across the country. It's a 2-year associate degree, and it's in partnership with a major corporation or several, and the community college and the school district. We now have 3 of these programs. One's in computer information systems in partnership with IBM and Front Range Community College. We have the medical and biosciences pathway. We also have the latest one in cybersecurity, and we're opening another one in business where our children can earn a 2-year associate degree at the same time that they're earning their high school diploma at no cost to the student. And they are filling critical jobs along the way. We're governed by legislative policy. And so the way in which our schools are judged or accredited or looked at is dependent on the policy. And so if the policy in and of itself is requiring this over here, but the objective is to do this and this, then it's important that that policy speaks to both of those objectives. So I think with Colorado, the policy, and when you start talking about reimagining, we have to get to a place where high school diplomas can look different. And we have to get to a place where the accreditation system looks different and how entering into the workforce looks different.
Why does the policy issue of reimagining Colorado's workforce, why does it matter? It matters because it's a necessity. The workforce has evolved drastically even post-pandemic. It's a different place than it was just 3 months ago. Right now, we are grappling with what does it mean for women in work to be a part of the great breakup. So we've evolved from the great reset, from the she session, to now women are breaking up with the world of work as we know it. That's big. That's huge. And so we need partners to really help us drill down and figure out, why are women breaking up with work? There's a variety of reasons. Again, that could be a policy and a legislative action agenda that we really need to tackle, but it has to be done collaboratively to change the world of work. It could be matters around pay equity. It could be matters around board diversification and representation to ensure that at the highest level of leadership, women are represented, and not just represented just in body, but that we are including them as decision makers and that we are spreading power to women to be able to be a part of the conversation and catalysts for change in very real, tactile, and kinesthetic ways. And so certainly the Women's Chamber is championing workforce development for women.
Right now, policy issues matter because all 50 states are competing for the same talent pool. And policy drives people to live where they want to live. Good policy makes the cost of living low. Bad policy makes it high. And so we want to create policy that encourages people to come to Colorado, to call Colorado home, because we want the very best system engineers and scientists and biologists and businesses to call Colorado home, because it's good for the community. Because when those businesses come here, they bring more revenue. When we have more revenue, we can provide better schooling, better roads, better services. So it's a win-win, not only for the state, but the community and the business. There is no greater resource in this country than the people that are in it. And if given the opportunity, they can solve any problem that they're faced with. What government, what our legislature has to do is get out of the way.
We're at a significant inflection point for the workforce. 3 or 4 big trends here that we see occurring that are impacting the workforce. One is demographics. The demographics are working against us. We're getting to be an older population, and there's opportunity in that for our younger employees, our younger workforce, but are they being prepared? Are they ready? The second big trend that we see is cultural. I think we've gotten away from, and perhaps unintentionally, this idea, this notion that work is good, that work is dignity, work gives us self-worth. This is really a micro theme, if you will, from Dirty Jobs or whatever it might be, but he's right. Work is a key part of who we are, and yet we're not teaching that. Colorado is doing some things right as it relates to the workforce and tomorrow's workforce. we can do better.
So I see our biggest challenges right now here as an employer in Colorado, and our biggest opportunity, it's all around people. Being in construction, we're not outsourcing the work that we're doing. We can have technology and automation and prefabrication, but ultimately people, great people, build our communities and build our cities. And so needing talent coming in is important for us. So being in the electrical trade, we're pretty math intensive and also have a lot of supporting education. So we pay for 44 credits through our apprenticeship program. So there's a lot of on-the-job training matched with schooling. So we're looking for somebody that's willing to learn, wants to work with their hands. We are first in the job site, we're last out the job site. So we're an integral part of the construction process. I think that Colorado workforce pillar is so important because it is the backbone of our state. It's the backbone of employers, of our community. And so figuring out ways, we're seeing business and education connect more, right? We took a lot of the business experience out of the high schools back in the 80s and 90s, and that really impacted business. So seeing more connection and collaboration is so important so that students are offered the opportunity about what's next. And is it going the higher ed route? Is it going through an apprenticeship, or is it going through the military? Those are the three that now counselors are educating on, and I think that's a key opportunity for our state to continue to expand.
Natural gas and oil, our industry is incredibly technical, and that really requires a vast array of technical experts that we depend upon, from engineers to environmentalists to folks that have very technical air quality backgrounds and education. And so we require a lot. We are huge proponents of STEM, and so we work really closely with schools to make sure that they are promoting STEM and that we're seeing children have opportunities to learn from the very youngest of ages, and so they can determine exactly what it is that they want to be doing.
I think that there are many opportunities in this aspect because, we see it at Western Union. We had been for many years advocating for bipartisan immigration reform so that there are more legal pathways for immigrants to come and work in the U.S. and Colorado. We also get engaged on issues that are critically important, like immigrant inclusion, immigrant integration. And part of the integration is how the community as a whole, not only the business community, but the government, the educators, create the environment and the policies that are needed to integrate these members of society.
College 300 years ago used to be for small numbers of people to get educated and lead the masses. Today, we need so many more people educated and involved in the workforce. Colorado's workforce policies really matter because we want them to create more opportunities for more people in Colorado to get into and through a college education and into the workforce.
What we really look for is experience. What have you done? How have you transformed other organizations? How have you put yourself in a position, let's say, for example, somebody that's coming out of the military. They may not have a formal degree from CU, for example, but they've got 12 years in an Intel role where they did more that is now applicable for my business and for what we do for clients than potentially in other areas of the market. So I think really for us, it's looking at experience. It's talking about what we're trying to do with our clients. A lot of times we walk in as the experts. And so we have to have somebody that is confident and is aware of sort of how things move in different organizations. That's not always the case for people that have a very formal background or that have been in big business prior.
When kids hear that they're not college material, they think that means they're dumb. They're not dumb. Maybe they just haven't figured out what they want to do with their lives. And quite honestly, I've gone from having a degree in fine arts when I graduated from college to working at a construction company and learning to read bridge plans to running for public office to now doing government relations.
For too long, we've seen K-12, business, and higher ed exist in silos. They're not coming together to talk about what the key issues are, and how they can build a new vision for the future of education and workforce development in our state. And so as we go out into different parts of rural Colorado, it's essential that we connect with business, and more importantly, that we help connect business with educators and learning providers so that they're able to lead those conversations at the local level too. Every kid in Colorado that's born in this state and lives in this state deserves to be educated to their greatest potential. And so as a business community, it's up to us to make sure that they have those opportunities in our state. And at the same point in time, every company that's in Colorado needs to have the homegrown talent and the local talent that it needs to grow and thrive. And so the business community plays a critical role in that as well. And so there's both a moral imperative to this work and an economic imperative to this work. And that's what ultimately helps make sure that the business community is going to have the impact that it can on this issue and chart a new future for the state.
We're excited that we've pulled together such tremendous partners from academia, business, community, and government as part of Colorado Business Roundtable, and we invite you to join us.